Hello there, Runadiers. It's Manny again, and today I got a great topic. It's the running etiquette one, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about, especially from Disneyland. That's why I'm wearing my coast to coast, and so we're gonna get right to it. But before we do, guys, we're getting close to 850 subscribers, guys. Thank you. That is so amazing, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys have been messaging me some great information, some great thank yous. So God bless you. This is the reason I do it. It's for you guys. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. But keep sharing this information. Keep subscribing if you haven't already. Keep commenting down below. Again, we're on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. Please send messages if you have any questions. I've been trying to answer everything that I can. And without further ado, let's get going. Well, first off, it's just basically news and mainly has to do with Disneyland, including something that dropped that was pretty big. So we're going to start off with some minor news, and this is what happened. So yes, minors, children, ages 3 to 9 can actually get tickets for $50 to enter Disneyland starting January 8th, to March 10th. So January 8th through March 10th, which would overlap the runDisney events. So guys, if you've already bought the tickets and you paid a little bit more, guys, call Disney. You never know. They might discount, give you the discount, give you the difference. Even if they give it to you in a gift card, that's a meal, a souvenir, something like that. So yes, and one of the things that I did read in there is you can upgrade them. So if you want to add Genie Plus, if you want to add a park hopper, if you want to upgrade it to more than one day, then yes, you can upgrade. I don't know what the deal is when you get there, but that's one of those things that you got to call Disney themselves. And magical luck. And speaking about parks, so you can get your reservations made now. You already haven't. Your park reservations. I believe there's going to be like a little area where we might not need it at a certain time, but as of now, make sure that you get your park reservation. They actually expanded it to 180 days. So yeah, but we're within the time frame that we're supposed to be able to. So guys, if you haven't done your park reservations, I would do them as soon as possible to make sure that you get the parks that you want. The next thing is the waiver has dropped for the Disneyland Marathon. How do you sign your waiver? So guys, it's really, really easy. If you haven't seen my videos yet, and I don't have it on the page, right now, but it's very easy. You have to log into your account. So on the very top right hand, I always say that, because it's different here. So you're gonna, on the top right hand, it's gonna have the help. You're gonna, the help, it's just gonna state help. You're gonna drop down, it's gonna say manage account. Well, from manage account, it's gonna log you in. When you log in, you're gonna go through your registrations, and at the very top, it's gonna say action needed or something to that sort, and it's gonna have you sign. So make sure you scroll all the way down. You're gonna have to scroll through the page depending on your computer. At the very bottom, it's gonna have you electronically sign it. What does this do, guys? Basically, you're still gonna go to the expo. You're still gonna pick up your bib. But what it does is, if you don't have this for whatever reason, this you're gonna have to go and you're gonna have to sign it there and turn it in. So this kind of skips that step. So once you do that, they're gonna give you your expo ticket. You're gonna go over there, you're gonna turn that in, they're gonna give you your bib, and that takes place of that. So instead of having to go there and sign it. But again, guys, if you don't have it, if for some reason or another it's not on there, it's not the biggest deal in the world. If you guys have been watching my channel, I always say click on make sure you make a copy, or click once you register so you have a copy of that. Just take it to them with your ID. They'll have you sign a waiver there, and of course you're going to get your bib. So now the big news with Disneyland, and this was what was dropped. We all got the email that said basically this is the start and finish of all the Disneyland runs. So if you notice that with the exception of the 5K, we start at Disney Way, which is a little bit towards the front of the entrance part of Disneyland. It's going away from it, and there's a big parking structure. So guys, when I did my video in May, so Manny, were you right, were you wrong? I was right in some areas and I was wrong in other areas. So guys, the place where I'm right is that you cannot just have 10,000 runners running anywhere, and you would have to you really, you're gonna have to break down the streets. You're gonna have to close a lot of the streets. And so in order to have 10,000 runners, once they're out, then they're spread out, then it's a lot easier to manage a lane or two. So guys, so I kept thinking it's going to be the same way they used to do it. It's a little road right behind downtown Disney, right by the Disneyland Hotel, finish off in that same area because they do have a lot of space back there. So they changed it on us. So with the exception of the 5K, so the 5K is going to be run in the parks, which is going to be great. It's fantastic. It's going to be dark. It's going to be nice. It's going to be cool. It's just going to be fantastic. But let's get over to the kids runs, the 10K and the half. So we're going to start off at Disney Way. So if you guys look, it's basically going to be, this is basically the structure of where we're going to be starting. So it's right, as you can tell, where it is in reference to Disneyland and the entrance to it. So when we get a little bit closer, guys, you guys can actually see that it is a parking lot. And this is basically a parking lot for cast members. When I did my video, I didn't even allude to it. I think I did it quickly, but what happened was when I went live, that's when I did a lot more about it, because it didn't even stand a reason to talk about it, because it was a little bit further out of the way. Now it's going to be used, and so a lot of you people who have been, and the reason I remember it was live because a lot of people had hotels right by there, and so that's going to be great for them. And so, but the people that are staying at the Disneyland Hotel, is that going to be good for them? Because now the walking distance is about a mile, roughly, and so, and you know, usually you spend more money to be there, so you can just walk down and just be right there where the start is. That's great, you know. Hey, let's pay a little bit of extra money just to do that. Now, this is my thought process, but guys, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna reiterate it in a little bit, guys. I would still plan on walking to the start and walking back from the finish, but I do have a feeling they might do this. They might do this, especially early on, but they would have to cut it off. Especially the runs start at 5 o'clock, so they would have to cut it off at about 4 or 4:30. But I think because the parking structures are in the back, so people are going to be driving in there, I think are still going to have to park back over there, closer to the Disneyland Hotel. Then I think that they can get a shuttle, and then maybe do a shuttle, come around, drop people off. Again, they're going to have to close it by 4:15, something like that, because especially if the runs start at 5. So I think that there's a chance. Don't quote me on this, and don't say, hey, Manny said there's going to be a shuttle. No, I said there's a chance there may be a shuttle. I would still plan on having to walk over there and walk back. So plan on that, guys. Hopefully, because a lot of you guys have gotten the Disneyland Hotel, got the, you know, the Paradise Pier, Pixar Pier now hotel. You know, the ones that are on, the 3 that are on property now, just so you won't have to walk that far, and you might have to walk a little bit further. Which brings me to my next point when it comes to this. So when I was there, I actually got a lot of information, but to me, it was all rumors. And that's a project that is called Disney Forward. And you've been hearing, if you haven't kept up with the news, look it up. It's basically what they're going to be doing with Disney over the next couple years. Supposedly next year, they're going to announce what they're going to do. And yes, it's looking like they're going to expand Disney. Yeah, and you heard it correctly, expand Disney. I just heard it in the rumor sense, so because Disney has canceled so many things, especially at Disneyland when they were going to build that hotel, when, you know, there was a couple of things because they closed some stuff back there, and that caused a lot of the problems with where do we run and so forth and so on. I didn't want to say anything, but I had heard about that Disney Forward project. Now I'm thinking it's going to happen for sure, and it's going to happen a little bit faster than we think. So by next year, they're going to announce it. Now, what exactly is going to happen? I've heard anything between, we're going to expand some of California Adventure, we're going to expand some of Disneyland Park, and I've even heard a 3rd park and even more parking structures. Let's see what they say before we start going all over the place, because again, everything right now is rumors, but it looks like it's going to become a reality to a certain degree. So guys, those of you who don't know, we're going to get to today's topic now, which is running etiquette. Guys, if you don't know, I am a certified running coach. I have coached before. I have run a whole bunch of runs. Well, obviously, this is why I'm doing this channel. So guys, there is proper running etiquette, and in my opinion, it's gotten better at the runDisney events over the last few years, and especially from run to run. It seems to be getting better, in my opinion. But I also think to myself, I could have a very, very good experience doing it, but somebody in front of me, behind me, whatever it is, can have very bad experiences with what I'm about to talk about. And so all of a sudden they say, Manny, it was just horrible. How can you say this and stuff? It's really up to everybody's experience. So that's why I tell you guys, you know, share this channel, share this information, especially if you want to watch this one. And let's get right to what is proper running etiquette, what you should do. I'm going to go from start to finish. So the first thing is starting. So once you get into your corral, a lot of people I see try to get to the front of the corral, or at least to the front of their wave. And that's okay, but when I see them, they start and they go ready, set, go, and then they just start walking and they clog up the area, especially if they're across. So what I always try to tell people is, if you're going to be a walker, because the rule is once we start walking, once we start the run, walkers to the right, joggers, runners to the left, right? So I always try to tell people now, when we start, get to your right, get to the right part of the corral, so that way if you're going to walk, and I would tell the runners behind them. So I would ask, at least a couple of them saying, hey, you guys going to be running or you going to be walking? Because I'm going to be walking. Warn them, let them know ahead of time, so that way they can adjust accordingly. They may be able to move a little bit. But guys, especially if you're going to be getting to the front, I understand trying to get to the front because you don't want to be swept. You want to be able to take as many pictures as you can and so forth. But guys, think about it as just etiquette, proper etiquette, so that way everybody can have a good time. So now we start going, and we already know walkers to the right, joggers, runners, they pass on the left. It's kind of like on the highway. It's the same thing. So we're going to be doing that. Now, what is a proper etiquette when you're going to slow down as a runner, jogger, runner, whatever it is? What are you going to do? So everybody knows that this is the universal sign that I am about to stop. Now, the only thing is that a lot of people use it wrong. So what is the wrong way of doing it and what is the right way of doing it? So a couple of things that are wrong. Number one is they run, they stop, and then raise their hand. Another one is they run, they raise their hand, and they stop right away. So that's another thing that's wrong, and I'm going to get to extreme situations in a little bit. So what is the proper way of doing this? So the proper way of doing this is I'm running. All right. So I decide, hey, I'm going to have to pull over. Whether I want an interval, whether I need to just rest a little bit, whatever it is. I have pictures, whatever it is. So this is what you're going to do. This is going to be for pictures, for water, for just slowing down, stopping for whatever reason. All right, you're going to be running. You're going to look over both shoulders. Look over both shoulders. See where the clearing is. If my clearing is to the right, then I'm going to head over to the right. Then I'm going to, once I get to that situation, I'm going to look over again to make sure I'm not impeding somebody's progress. When I do that and I'm ready to stop or slow down or stop, I'm going to raise my hand. When I raise my hand, I am going to count in my head 1001, 1002, 1003. Then you slow down and or stop, because that gives people behind you the time to adjust, so then they don't run into you. So if you're running and you just stick up your hand and stop, well, they're still going to run into you. So guys, so be prepared to do that. Practice that if you have to. And guys, there's going to be parts of the run where you might not even have to, because there's so much separation or it's a wide area. So guys, but practice that. That's a good way of practicing. So now let's get to some extreme situations, because this happened not to me. I've seen it happen. Actually, it has happened to me, not in a runDisney event, in a different run. And I did see an extreme one this past January, where somebody is running, they stop, they're about to stop, and they don't raise their hand or do anything because they see a character in the back. They turn and they start running back. When you do that, remember the force is now going the opposite way. So since you didn't look over your shoulders, you didn't know there was somebody there. So I remember talking to a lady before a run, then after the run, I saw her in crutches. And so what happened was the person turned and ran right into her, hit her, knocked her down, broke her leg. And so this stuff does happen, guys. So this is what I always try to tell people. Stop. Again, you got to think about what you're trying to do. Yes, I get excited too and say, man, I want to go back and get that picture. There is a proper way of doing that, and that's the process that I just told you. Kind of move to a clearing, then find a way to get over there if you're going to do that. But do not, under any circumstances, just stop and turn back and go back. You're going to hit somebody, and you're lucky if none of you get hurt. Another thing is diagonal running, and a lot of people do that. So what you're trying to do is when you're running, look straight ahead. So you're going to be running straight ahead in the street. So diagonal running is when you're running and you're running to the side, and then you start running to this side and stuff, because again, it gets annoying, especially if somebody's behind you and they're trying to run straight, and all of a sudden you just see this going on like this. So they're going to have to try to adjust, and a lot of times people don't understand that. To them, that's straight. So just get a point of reference and run straight. Stop doing diagonal running. And the main reason that people do diagonal running is, again, going back to the characters, pictures, whatever it is. So guys, just remember, don't do any kind of diagonal running. Okay, the next thing is we're going to slow down to get some pictures or get some water. What is a proper way of doing that? And basically, I just explained the proper way. So guys, you're going to do what you did before. You're going to, you're going to find your clearing. You're going to raise your hand. You're going to do that. Now, when it comes to water, the first thing I'm going to say is going to be water. The water stops. You're going to go into where you find a clearing. So you don't want to cut anybody off because, again, people are going in. They should come out and drink the water, and then they can, once they finish off, they can keep going. So guys, find a clearing to where you don't impede anybody's progress. Get in there. Once you get the water, you're going to move off to the side, drink your water, and then dispose of the cup properly. But that's the way you do the water. A couple of things about the water. Number one is if you're going to drink the water and then you're going to splash yourself, make sure, again, there's people behind you. I have had people, actually I had one of my running partners just recently say, talk to them about this because I hate that. They do this or they splash whatever, they splash on their back and then they splash me. So yes, guys, be very wary. Go to the side, wherever it is, so where you can splash yourself, but don't splash anybody else for whatever reason. They got costumes on, they just don't feel comfortable with water, whatever it is, but just don't do that. Another thing I always try to tell people is, and I'm going to start talking a little bit more about volunteers and cast members, guys. So when you drink your water, there is trash cans all throughout. Guys, try to throw that into the trash, okay? And don't just throw it out in the streets because they got to pick it up. And the further out you get, they're going to have to go out there to go get it because they're trying to keep everything clean, guys. Again, guys, these are volunteers and these are cast members. I love them. I thank them all the time because they're out there and they're helping us out. There wouldn't be runs if it wasn't for them. So guys, try to make their job a little bit easier, okay? So if you have to carry it with you, maybe put it in your pocket. Next time you see trash, put it in there so it makes it a little bit easier for them. So now let's talk about getting pictures and proper etiquette about getting pictures. Number one, if it is just a character picture, you're going to get in line. So we already know we're going to slow down, we're going to stop, we're going to get in line. Okay, guys, this is probably one of the most under talked about topics, which is, whenever you're going to take a picture with a character, think to yourself that there's people behind you and they're also trying to make a cutoff time. Some of them might not be as fast, and so forth and so on. So go in there, a few seconds, 3, 4, 5 seconds, you should be out of it. Guys, so if you get in there and you say, well, I'm going to get this pose, I'm going to get this pose, then I'm going to get this one with my friend. Now I got to get this one without my friend, then I'm going to get this one. No, guys, think to yourself, you're going to take 2, 3 pictures and then you're going to move on. Make sure that your bib is showing because that's the way they do it for the photo maker. So you're going to be able to see your bib. Once you get that, and we'll talk about that at a later time, but it'll be matched to your photos and then you could purchase them, or if you've already purchased them, you can see them. So go for that. That's what you do. But guys, that's gonna be what you're gonna do when you stop to get some character pictures. So guys, what about the pictures in front of the castle and the ones that you jump and you do all that stuff, the motion pictures that you're taking, right, when you're running and stuff? Have you noticed also they're on the side? So they're going to be the little green tents, guys. And what a lot of people have done is they keep running in that straight line. And again, if you're in the front, you're not taking into consideration there's people back there who have also paid, have also bought that memory maker. They're ready to run. They want to take some pictures. They want stuff there. So guys, this is what I do. I kind of do the same thing that I do before is I look over my shoulders. I say, all right, there's 2 people behind me. I'm going to come in, and if I can tell them, I'm going to tell them I'm going to run in and out. So what I do is I kind of circle, pick 1 or 2 pictures, come out of their way, and then allow them to come in so that they can take the pictures too. And you kind of circle like this over and over and over so everybody gets their pictures, or at least as many as they can get their picture, guys. Again, guys, this is what I hear afterward because people just run straight up to the camera and they hog up the whole thing so nobody else gets pictures. Then they get out of their way. Guys, you got to think to yourself that we're all in this together. Everybody paid, everybody's doing this, everybody trained, hopefully. But guys, that's one of the things that I always try to tell people is just be considerate of others. And again, a quick circle, you're going to get 1 or 2 good pictures, maybe even 3. And as soon as you're out, then they can get the next person, and then so forth and so on. Now, if you're running in groups of more than 2, remember this, and they will say this at the run. Just try to get a single file. If there's 2 of you, you might get away with it most of the run. There's places like on the boardwalk or close to the boardwalk on the backside where it's a little bit narrow. Remember, caution runners, course narrows ahead. Anytime you hear that, again, single file, especially if there's more than 2 of you guys. I know it's a great thing when you're family, friends, you've overcome stuff, you're together and stuff like that, but just again, think of the other runners, especially I've seen people interlock arms and try to walk through and they block everybody behind them. So guys, You wouldn't want that done to you guys. Again, single file, take your picture and move on, and we're heading to the finish. Okay guys, the finish line. Finish line is a lot, like I just said. You know, you want to make sure that you don't get in front of a lot of people. You're going to see the finish line. People taking pictures up top. And this is when people start going like, yeah, this and that, and then they cover everybody else's faces. You can do me. You can do that to me because I like being Mike Wazowski. I have no issues being Mike Wazowski. But a lot of people do have issues doing that. So again, a real quick yes, and then come back down, see if you can get a picture, maybe do it a couple of times. But again, try your hardest. That's why I always say, look over people's shoulders, go to the clearing. So if you have clearing, then yeah, pick up your hands because there's clearing behind you. And so that way everybody can get their pictures. You gotta move quickly. Once you're finished, they're gonna basically give you your medal, they're gonna give you your water and stuff. They're gonna keep you moving, guys. So you gotta have proper etiquette, which is gonna bring me to my next one. Okay, volunteers and cast members are out there and they enhance our runs. They make our runs better. So one of the things that I think, this is my take, for a proper etiquette for running, for Run Disney runners especially, is that we're gonna thank them. Thank them so much because especially what's going on with the volunteers right now, thank them for what they're doing. I stop as many as I can to say thank you. Thank you so much for being out there. Remember, they're there earlier than we are, and they stay sometimes later than we are. So guys, these people have gone out of their way to do this. Again, they're really not getting anything anymore. They just come out to cheer us on and to help out. So guys, please thank your volunteers and your cast members. And before we finish, guys, I am gonna say this, and this is one of the things that makes my run so special is if you see me on my videos, I always say hello, you can do this, encouraging words to athletes with disabilities, guys. Now, when you come up to an athlete with a disability, guys, and some of them will have it on their back, because not all of them are going to be in chairs or bikes or whatever, they're going to be running and they're going to have it there, okay, guys? It's going to be a little bit different for them. To them, they might struggle a little bit more. So, guys, when it comes to like, hey, move out of the way or do anything like that, guys, please be respectful. I love them. I think that they're great. I think they're great role models. I just love seeing them on the course. So guys, just pass by. Great job. You guys are doing awesome. Do you need any help? I'll ask if sometimes if they need help. And I've actually pushed people in wheelchairs before and so forth. But guys, let's be nice to each other and let's take care of our great, fantastic athletes with disabilities. Well, basically that's it for running etiquette. There's a lot of different etiquettes, and we'll get into the expo and so forth and so on. But I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna finish by saying a couple of things. Number one is that somebody started messaging, or people have been messaging about what I talked about last time, which is that picture taking meetup. So it's gonna be like the Run in Ears picture taking meetup afterward at Epcot. And I thought this would be a great idea because again, we can get together as a group, whether it be 2 of us, 20 of us, or even more than that, and we can just go to different places, take pictures. We have different ideas, maybe take a couple of just pictures for everybody that we can share so that you can put them on your social media. Others where, of course, it'd be you in the picture and so forth and so on. So it'd be one of those things that we're gonna do. I was thinking of 4 p.m. On the 5th. So that would be November 5th, that's Sunday, 4 p.m. The reason I chose 4 p.m. is that it'll give people time to rest and then come back. Now, here goes the deal, is that if you notice you have your ticket will get you in at 5, okay? Now, here goes the problem with just waiting till 5 is that it usually starts getting dark, or it gets dark about 5:30 during those days. So if we wait till 5:30, it's going to be too dark. So what I thought of is maybe trying to get the people that can and have park tickets and get in at 4. We got some ideas. The rest of you can meet up with us during that time at 5 so that we can share pictures and maybe take a couple of extra ones when you guys are in the pictures. So I was saying like from 4 to 6, 4 to 6:30, because Sheila E. is also going to be playing that night. And before the after party, I really would like to go see her. I think it's 5:30, 6:45, and 8 o'clock. So I was thinking about the 6:45 show, go get something to eat, and then get in line for Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you guys think about that? But guys, with that said, what do you guys think about the 4 o'clock, 4 to about 6? So again, the people that don't get until 5 can come and meet us, and so we can share pictures, get some extra pictures that we need to. And then you can meet each other. You can go off afterward and take more pictures, whatever you guys want to do. But about 4 o'clock, I'd say 4 to 6, 4 to 6:30. before the Sheila E. concert. Do you guys have any feedback about that? And the last thing I want to do is I'm working on some shirts. I'm hoping to have them by Wine and Dine weekend. And they're going to be great shirts. I'm going to be, if I can get them sooner than later, I'm going to be showing them. They're going to be, I'm going to surprise you guys and show you the picture, what the shirts say when we get there. But guys, I'm working on some ideas, guys, that are hopefully even enhance, you know, your runs even more, your run weekends. Because again, the runs are one thing, but then afterward, you know, meetups I think are great. So we're going to start maybe doing those kind of things. So guys, without further ado, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is a long video today, but guys, I want to thank you so much for being who you are. Guys, I'm going to say without further ado, create a magical day, create a magical run, guys, and see you sooner than later.